Hey folks, Post here, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video, and today we're going to go over, I guess, some of the, characters that are in the game and some characters that aren't in the game, and I'm gonna go talk about what potential, Pokemon that they could have once they do get in the game, right? So basically, today we're gonna go over Elite Four members, right? And we do have a decent amount of them in the game. We have most of them, honestly, right? Got Lorelei in the game, Bruno, Agatha, Lance, Will, Koga, Bruno again, but same character, Karen, Phoebe, Glacia, Drake, Flint, Chantel, Grimsley, Caitlin. It's just me trying to show off that I recognize everyone. No, not really. I'm just listing them. Marshall. I almost forgot Marshall's name. Storm or whatever the heck his name is pronounced. Seabold, Olivia, Isola, and Kaylee. So basically, we got all the Elite Fours from Gen 1, all the Elite Four members from Gen 2, and all the Elite Four members from Gen 5. So we're missing one from Gen 3. Not Grimsley, Sydney. Hey, they're both Dark type Elite Fours, okay? Sydney from Gen 3. We're missing 3 from Gen 4, actually. Lucian, Bertha, and AREN. And then 2 from Gen 6, Malva and Drasna. And then, I guess 2 from Gen 7, but, they're, from different games in Gen 7, right? One's from, regular Sun and Moon, with Hala, and then, Ultra Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon got, Melanne, right? So yeah, basically those that are in the game, they already have partner Pokemon, right? And we're gonna go over the ones that aren't in the game and see what potential Pokemon that they can have. So anyways, let's go to Littlepedia right now, just because their layout is really easy to check their Pokemon and all that stuff, right? So again, we already got all the Kanto leaders, so let's first go over the ones that are in the game, and let's see if we could find a pattern, some sort of pattern that would make it easier to predict which Pokemon that the Elite Four, the ones that aren't in the game will get, right? So Lorelei, you got Lapras, right? Lapras is an Ice type. It's a Gen 1 Pokemon. Bruno, you got Machamp, Fighting type, Gen 1 Pokemon. Agatha with Gengar, Ghost type, Gen 1 Pokemon. Lance, Dragonite, Dragon type, Gen 1 Pokemon. All the Lance that we have is Champion Lance, not Elite Four Lance. But anyways, they're the same guy. Well, you got Xatu, which is a Psychic type, Gen 2 Pokemon. Koga, you got Crobat, which is a Poison type, Gen 2 Pokemon. Bruno, again, same character. Karen, you got Houndoom, which is a Dark type, Gen 2 Pokemon. You go to the Hoenn Elite Four. Phoebe, Dusclops, that's a Gen 3 Ghost type Pokemon. Glacia, you got Glalie, which is a Gen 3 Ice type Pokemon. With Drake, you got Salamence, which is a Gen 3 Dragon type Pokemon. Going to Gen 4, you got Flint with Infernape, Gen 4 Fire type Pokemon. Unova, you got Chantel with Chandelure, that's a Gen 5 Ghost type Pokemon. Marshall with Conkeldurr, that's a Gen 5 Fighting type Pokemon. Grimsley with Liepard, Gen 5 Dark type Pokemon. And Caitlin with Reuniclus, that's a Gen 5 Psychic type Pokemon. You guys do see a bit of a pattern here, right? Seabold with Clawitzer, Gen 6 Water type Pokemon. Wickstorm with H-Slash, Gen 6 Steel type Pokemon. Olivia with Lycanroc, Midnight, that's a Gen 7 Rock type Pokemon. Acerola with Palossand, that's a Gen 7 Ghost type Pokemon. And Killyleaf with Toucannon, that's a Gen 7 Flying type Pokemon. So basically, the pattern with these Elite Four is, and the precedent that they set, is that their Pokemon would be a Pokemon that is of their type, right? And from the same gen. So that does narrow some of these selections. And speaking of Pokemon of the same type from the same gen, let's start with the first one that we're missing, Sydney. And why did I say speaking of that? Because his whole team is Dark type from Gen 3. So Sydney's is really hard to narrow down. Mediana, Dark type, Gen 3. Shifty, Dark type, Gen 3. Cacturn, Dark type, Gen 3. Sharpedo, Dark type, Gen 3. Absol, Dark type, Gen 3. And Emerald also got Crawdon instead of instead of Sharpedo, which is also a a dark type Gen 3 Pokemon. So yeah, I guess the popular pick would be Absol, right? Because one, Absol is popular, and two, it is the one that he megas when you fight him in the rematch in RAS, right? And it also is kind of his ace, so it could potentially be Absol, right? It could, honestly, it could, well, I just say, well, Absol has the highest likelihood to be it, right? But if we're talking about who he could potentially have, it could be any one of these, right? Mayana, Shiftry, Cacturne, Crawdon, Sharpedo, it could be any of these. Although I do kind of see Sharpedo going to maybe one of the Team Aqua guys. Could be, or Mariana as well. You know, Mariana could also go to Team Aqua / Magma, Admins, or Grunts, or whatever, right? Shiftry and Cacturne, they could, you know, be potential picks for Sydney. But they also are, you know, they're dark and grass, right? So maybe, you know, because of the grass typing, they might not give it to Sydney. So maybe it's going to be Absol. Who knows? But if I were to bet money on who is it going to be, I guess I'll put on an Absol, right? But again, although any of these are you know, possibilities, right? I mean, if we look at the Gen 3 Hoenn Elite Four, right? Phoebe got Dusclops, Glacia got Mega Glalie, Drake got Salamence. So like of two of the three got the Pokemon that Mega'd, right? Phoebe didn't. You know, Phoebe's is Sableye, which she didn't get. She did get Dusclops, but to be fair, there's like 2 Dusclopses, so Dusclops does leave a bit of a impression on the player when you do fight Phoebe, right? But Glacia and Drake are both they're megas, even though Drake's Salamence is a mega, but you know, still, right, it's still Salamence. So again, that, you know, gives more credence to it being Absol. Also, one more thing I do want to mention, since like team formations are coming up soon, for those of you who don't know, team formation is just, you know, a formation of different categories of trainers, and then they'll give a boost accordingly, right, to the category. And if there ever was like a Hoenn Elite Four formation, right, it could be troublesome for a few reasons. Well, for one, the Hoenn Elite Four, like at the moment, like not Salamence, just Drake, Glacia, and Phoebe, they're all supports. So Sydney better be a striker, or else this formation, if this formation does exist, would be suspect. Like, who's gonna do damage? Like, I guess Glalie and Dusknoir could maybe do some damage, right? Salamence, don't even think about it. Salamence damage is terrible. Maybe Glacia and Phoebe, but like, yeah, if this is like another support, which it could possibly be, like they could just make, hey, we're gonna make all the Hoenn Elite Four supports. Yikes. Anyways, that's also something to consider, right? So moving on to the Sinnoh Elite Four. So Sinnoh Elite Four, oh, we got some tough cookies to crack here. So you know what? Let's start off with the easiest one here on the list. Bertha. Bertha should be pretty easy. The highest likelihood would be Hippowdon. Hippowdon is just a classic for Bertha, right? It's her, you know, it's the Pokemon she uses the most, right? That appeared in both Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, and is also a Gen 4 ground type Pokemon. And if we are looking at Gen 4 ground type Pokemon, we've got Gliscor. Is that really how to pronounce it? Gliscor? Hippowdon, and Rhyperior, right? Rhyperior is really strong for Bertha, right, in Platinum, but there is one argument I do see against Bertha having Rhyperior, which is the fact that Rhyperior could evolve from Rhydon, which then Rhydon could be Gym Leader Giovanni's sync pair, because do keep in mind the Giovanni that we have in the game right now is the Ultra Sun and Moon one, the Rainbow Rocket Giovanni with Mewtwo, right? Not Gym Leader Giovanni, right? Or Mob or Team Rocket Boss Giovanni. It's Rainbow Rocket, so there could still be a regular Giovanni, right? And then they could potentially give him Rhydon, and Rhydon could then evolve into Rhyperior, maybe like that, right? So, but again, it's still a possibility, right? But Hippowdon is just it's a classic for Bertha, right? Female Hippowdon, right? With the different design. So that could be a possibility for Bertha. So let's get into the problematic ones. Let's start with the slightly less problematic one, which is AREN. So AREN's ace, you know, most iconic Pokemon for AREN, that's Drapion, right? Problem, Drapion is not a bug type. It's poison and dark. Does not have bug type. And again, every Elite Four in the game so far has used a Pokemon that is of their typing, right? If they are a dragon type specialist Elite Four member, they use dragons. Their sync pair is dragon, right? No one has ever picked a sync pair partner that is not of their type. So, is it possible that AREN picks Drapion? It is possible, but there just is no precedent for that at all. So, looking at the other two Gen 4 bug-type Pokemon that AREN has, Yanmega and Vespiquen, these two are also possibilities, right? Let's say Vespiquen does have the advantage of appearing in all three games, right? While Yanmega only appeared in Platinum. So I guess there's that to go off of. Some people do mention Heracross as well. Since Heracross was pretty strong for AREN, but again, you know, it's a Gen 2 bug type. Not saying it's impossible, but the likelihood is just slightly smaller, right? In comparison. So, moving on to the most problematic on this list, user on this list, Lucian, which is also the Elite Four member that I want added in the game the most right now. I don't know, Lucian or Sydney, both are pretty cool. But Lucian, if you look at his team, you'll know why he's incredibly problematic. The only two, I mean, let's just go from his ace first, right? His ace is definitely Bronzong, right? The dude's Bronzong is pretty iconic, right? Problem, Thorton has Bronzong. Thorton already took your Bronzong. Sorry. So, could he still get Bronzong? Maybe he'll get like a Psychic type Bronzong. But again, this just hasn't happened in the game before yet, right? You know, there's no duplicate Pokemon yet. So, not very likely at the moment if you look at that. So, let's move on to the other Gen 4 Psychic type Pokemon, Gallade. Oh no, the new trailer revealed that Wally has Gallade, so there goes Gallade. Oh well, let's move down the line. Alakazam was pretty strong for Lucian, right? Sabrina has Alakazam. So, what else we got? Oh, Medicham, right? Oh, Melanne has Medicham. Well, what's Lucian left with on his team? Espeon, Mr. Mime, and Girafarig. Girafarig, Espeon, Mr. Mime, all Psychic type Pokemon. None of them from Gen 4. So let's look at some Gen 4 Psychic type Pokemon, and maybe he could, you know, pick one of the Psychic type Pokemon from Gen 4. You know, pretty strong Psychic type Pokemon from Gen 4 to put on his team. Maybe it'll work that way. Let's check them out. All right, Chingling, Bronzor, Mime Jr., and then legendaries. And Elite 4 with like Chingling, Elite 4 member with Mime Jr., Bronzor, which again, you know, Bronzong's already in the game, so slightly problematic, right? Maybe he could be with a legendary. He could come out as a legendary event trainer, I guess. Cresselia, although Cresselia, like, there's way more trainers that fit Cresselia than Lucian, right? So yeah, if we look back at his team, I guess maybe Espeon wasn't too bad for him, right? Maybe Mr. Mime, Girafarig. If we do combine these two factors together, right, the Pokemon on his team plus Gen 4 Psychic type Pokemon, I think we do come to one conclusion, one thing that does fit both, right? And that's Mime Jr., right? Mime Jr., that's a Gen 4 Psychic type Pokemon, and then Mime Jr. could evolve into Mr. Mime later. And there is precedent for that. For the Elite Four member to have a Pokemon of the same gen, of their type, evolve into something that is still of their type but a different gen, which is Phoebe, right? Her Dusclops evolved into Dusknoir over here. So it's possible, I guess. So if I were to guess what Lucian would get, maybe it's going to be like Mime Jr. that evolves into Mr. Mime, be some kind of like tech or support unit, right? You know, because it's not like first evolutions are like really bad in this game or whatever. Like a Torchic. Torchic's one of the, you know, best Villa supports in the game. And it's only a Torchic. Pikachu, right? So it's not like, you know, base form Pokemon are like bad or whatever in this game. So hey, it can still happen. Anyway, so there we got Sinnoh done with. Here's Unova, which again, they're all in the game. Let's go to Kalos. Malva has two options, Talonflame or Pyro. If I were to guess, maybe Pyro, right? Because, you know, the Team Flare connection for one, and also, you know, her Pyro is special. It's a female Pyro. Female Pyro and male Pyro, they all have different designs, right? So maybe they'll give her Pyro. That's a possibility, right? That's a, you know, I would say really likely possibility. She could also get Talonflame as well. It's not like it's impossible, right? Talonflame is definitely an option for her as well. For those who are, you know, skeptical of Pyro, just because maybe, you know, when Lysander comes into the game, they'll give like Lysander the male Pyro, and then, you know, because of the apparently still unbroken no same two Pokemon rule, which isn't really a rule, it's just a precedent, right? I guess. Then she won't get Pyro, and then she'll get Talonflame, which again, both of these are possible. So there's that. Moving on to Drasna. Drasna, you got both of Dragalge and Noivern. I guess it could be Noivern. I mean, it could be Dragalge as well, but you know, Dragalge, a lot of people do kind of sort of associate it more as a like a poison type Pokemon, right? Although, you know, of course it's dual type, poison dragon. Same for Noivern, right? Flying dragon. But if we were to take a dragon, maybe Noivern. I think it's more popular. And Dragalge, I mean, the seaweed thing does resemble her, you know, her flowy hair though, so there's that. Also, the colors of her clothes are slightly similar, so Dragalge has that going for it. But Noivern, you know, people generally do associate Noivern more with the dragon type, I guess, slightly more than Dragalge, so could be Noivern, right? Moving on to the Alolan Elite Four. So first of all, let's go to Hala. Hala, the only two that fit the bill over here are Beware and Crabominable. I'd say maybe Crabominable, because like who else is gonna have Crabominable, right? For one. And also, I mean, Hala, you know, it's kind of like, I mean, you know, the whole thing with Elite Four, or the Pokemon League being on like the Ice Mountain and all that stuff, or Snow Mountain, I guess, it kind of fits it. And it's like, it's literally like, it literally evolves in the mountain, right? So it really fits a lot. Could also have Beware as well. Like, I guess it's possible, but what if Sawyer gets Beware, right? Not that, you know, Sawyer is set on anything. Like, the dude has like what, 3 Pokemon that's revealed already. So who knows what Sawyer could get? But I guess that's also a possibility for Sawyer. Moving on to the last one over here, Melanne. The two that fit the bill, Klefki and Alolan Dugtrio. I guess I personally would like it to have Klefki, but you know, its ace is kind of Alolan Dugtrio, so maybe Alolan Dugtrio. Who knows? But again, Klefki is also possible. So for these, for Melanne, these two are pretty good possibilities, right? So yeah. There we go. Went through every single Elite Four that's not in the game yet, and what possible units they could have. Again, the tough ones over here, right? For both AREN and Lucian, these are really tough to call. I guess Sydney's also kind of tough as well. Bertha, not so much. Malva, Drasna, you know, Hala, Melanne, not so much either. But yeah, that's me for this one. Hope you guys are gonna let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What, you know, secrets do you guys see them having, and all that stuff. Like, enjoy the videos, or channel for some more Pokemon Masters content, and hopefully we get an update soon, so I don't have to just try to look in the future and predict what's coming. And it's better that we actually get some information on what's coming. That would be pretty cool. So again, I'll see you guys later.